On question 2, we have the graph. We need to write the equation. So we have to sort of undo the DABC. If you were graphing it, you would start with the D, and you would draw your center line. Can you tell from this graph where the center line is? Okay, some people just start drawing. I'll draw it on the axis and do it wrong. Is that in the right spot? No. You see that's way too close to the bottom? Mathematically, how could you figure it out? Like, how do, oh man, every dot is, I was going to slide it up, but no. I bet you I have made it. No, I haven't. Okay. I have it in green. Ooh, I saw it. There we go. Dotted line in green. How could I figure out that it is right here? Oh, nice. At 1. There, it's red now. Nice. How do I figure out that it's perfectly at 1 mathematically? Any ideas? You could guess and check. At 1, how far is it to the top? 5. How far is it to the bottom? 5. So you can check that way. Guess until you get one that's exactly in the middle. What are the other names for this sinusoidal axis? Center line. And what was the other one I called it? Average. Okay. How do you figure out an average? Take the two values. What's my maximum is 6. Minimum is -4. You got 6% on one test. The next test you wrote, you got -4%. Don't ask me how. What is your average in the class? Not good. Because 6 plus the -4 gets you to 2. Divided by 2, your average would be 1. Whew. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a test where you can actually go into the negatives? Right? I'm gonna do, Dad, I'm skipping the test. If I get a 0, it's gonna be better than if I actually write it. That would be scary. So we now know the D value has to be 1. And in figuring out the D value, we already figured out what the amplitude is. Do you see that your amplitude has to be 5? Now we have to figure out what the period is. To calculate the period, you have to go from one point, so let's say I choose a minimum, to another minimum, and figure out what this distance is. I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 squares. But what's 1 square? Well, if this is pi over 6, does it make sense that 1 square is pi over 12? So my period, 8 squares, is 8 pi over 12. Which reduces, because they both divide by 4, to 2 pi over 3. You don't have to reduce it. You could leave it 8 pi over 12. That doesn't tell me what my B value is. Okay? There's a formula that says period is equal to 2 pi over your B value. Rearranging that formula says your B value is 2 pi over your period. So I'm going to show you a couple things, shortcut here for this and everything. But right now, okay, using the long way, if I did B equals 2 pi divided by my period and I had the simplified version, 2 pi over 3, how do you multiply by or divide by a fraction? You multiply by the reciprocal. My 2 pi's would cancel out, and my B value is 3. But you can maybe also get it from observation. If you write your period as 2 pi over something, the over something has to be, because here's our formula, right? Period is 2 pi over your B value. So if I write it as 2 pi over 3, it also tells me my B value is 3. And then when we go to write this question, we'll do it quick here. Our amplitude is 5. We're doing a sine graph. Our B value is 3. and our d value is 1. The last thing we have to do is our shift. If I do a positive sine graph, where does the sine graph start? In the middle going up. Where do I have in the middle going up on my graph? I have it right here. 1, 2, 3 squares to the left. I can show that by doing, 3 squares to the right minus 3 pi over 12s. And that would be my answer. And we can circle questions 4, 5, 6, and 7. Have a wonderful weekend.